Hello and welcome. You're tuning in to Double Dry Hopped Brooklyn, and we're going to tackle one of my favorites today. We're going to tackle double dry hopped Mylar bags. Um, but before we get started, um, I'd like to take a second and say thanks to everybody who tuned in and who's tuning in and who will tune in. I super appreciate it. To that end, I got a new camera that can record 60 frames per second, 1080p, 4K at 30, and I've dialed in some of the issues that we had last week vis-a-vis. I felt like the audio cut out a little bit, so that's now fixed as well. I'm gonna try to sit up here. Anyways, let's go ahead and get right into it and pour this thing and see what's up. Trying to make some changes as we go. I got a thermometer, a couple other things. Dutchie's confused. Okay. Glassware, Teku 3.0, standard, nothing unusual or fancy there. Here's what we're going to be drinking today. This was stored in my refrigerator, so it's probably a little colder than I'd like, and it was canned on the 16th. So we're looking at just shy of a month. Let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. Ready? See how the mic captures this. Ooh, delightful. All right. How's she going to pour? Let's see. I was told that this sounds like I'm taking a whiz. And honestly, I'm not going to stop doing it because I like that feedback. Maybe I am taking a whiz. You never know. Oh my goodness. So juicy out of the can. Oh my God, I'm excited. So, this is one of my favorite beers, quite honestly. I've had this one on several occasions. I feel like I'm getting pulled in a bunch of different directions because the camera's here and the mic. It's just. Let me see if I can fix this. Let's see if that helps. What am I trying to say? Let's bring you down here. That might be better. Let's do that. Sorry, guys. I absolutely should have had this worked out, but it's a work in progress. I guess that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So let's check it out. Look at that. Look at our color there. Huh? 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 Come on. There it is in focus. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, let's lower the lights. Oh my God, the nose on this thing is spectacular. You got the light there. Let me just dim it. Very hazy. From the back, you can kind of see it there. That's how I'll do it from now on. Look at that. Very hazy. Not seeing much through there. Very, very hazy. Beautiful, beautiful color. Light, crispy golden, moist on the inside, tender on the. It doesn't matter. All right. So let's temp this bad boy. I got a thermometer. Because I'm only going to drink beer if it's exactly between the reference range. Oh man, this is so stupid. I love it. I don't know why I haven't been doing this forever. Honestly, that drinking beer. Now we're talking about something that I'm good at. All right. So ambient 76.5. Ooh, 47.7. 46, 42, 45. Holy smokes. Great. So this bad boy, delicious. Meat thermometer. Needs to warm up a little bit. What is the reference temperature? That's not the beer, that's the thermometer. Not doing that again. Oh, that was rough. What is the reference range for an IPA, a juicy or hazy imperial IPA, or an American style imperial or double IPA? It's I've read a lot about this, and the consensus seems to be that it's a 4 or 5 degree range, from I believe like 47, 48 to 53, 54, 55 on the high end. So you don't need to keep this super cold. I certainly don't. Although this one was in my fridge. I have so much beer now. If anybody wants to come over and help me drink beer, like, I'm vaccinated, you're invited. You're invited. Speaking of vaccinations, I'd like to give a shout out to Uncle Martin, who got his poke from his pop. There you go. And is one of two. Hopefully no gnarly side effects. I was tired, but that's sort of the worst that happened to me. So we looked at color, we looked at the temperature. Tell them how it tastes, Steve. Okay. Well, on the nose, big fruit flavor. Like big fruit flavor. I'm getting some real nice stuff here. We're talking, oh man, like tropical fruit. Big tropical fruit on the nose. Maybe a little pineapple. Certainly, I think some citrus. Nothing. I'm trying to. It definitely gets more complex as it warms up a little bit. Oh, I love it. I think some mango. Yeah. It actually looks darker to me IRL than it does on cam. But this, there is no higher quality camera I can get. It's the best one. All right. So it's 11:37 a.m. Let's dive in and see what happens. All right. First taste. This is my favorite for a reason. I'm actually, I'm well and truly familiar with this beer. Just about every time it comes that other half has a release and they brew a batch of this, I drink it. It's one of their best received beers, and it's pretty clear to see why. When I say that this thing is non-offensive, what I mean by what I mean is you don't even have to be a beer drinker to like this beer. I don't think. If you've got a friend who you're trying to get into beer, this is a great place to start. Like, you don't. There are no real flavors in here that are unappealing or unattractive. It is 8.5% alcohol by volume, which is kind of crazy because it does not drink like an 8.5% beer. To me, it's very crushable. Maybe it's because I'm glutinous, but I do happen to think that it is very easy to drink, and I think a lot of people would agree with me on that. So one of the things that I think I can speak to about beer is sort of the chemistry of it, and I know that that's not everybody's favorite thing, but if you can relate the chemistry to the hops and you can make sense of that, I think that that's a really powerful and important way to sort of understand beer. I mean, I guess there's obviously more than one way, but the two ways that I sort of know of are either through pure just experimentation or through a more sort of theoretical take on how on what should work in theory based on flavor profiles. Um, I think it's time for another Sipsky. Oh, good lord! I'm so happy that that exists on this planet, and I was alive to drink it. Um, very so as it warms up a little bit. How warm? Let's see. So as it warms up a little bit, you're getting, especially on the nose, uh, about 48 now. I'm not gonna lick the spoon. Okay, I licked the spoon. Oh yeah, I'm not a smart man. Anyways, uh, the bitterness in here, I actually couldn't find any sort of measurement online or on the brewer's website, other half's website, as far as a clear indicator about as to how many IBUs it's rated at. But I do want to talk about IBUs. IBUs, International Bitterness Units. Now, I'm still kind of learning this, but I think I can fill in some of the gaps in everybody's understanding. Effectively, when you're brewing beer, um, one of the flavor profiles that's hardest to balance is bitterness. Now, IPAs are a very bitter beer, and that's because you use hops, and hops have bitterness. But from a chemical perspective, where does that bitterness come from? Well, I'm really glad you asked because I didn't know, and I went and found out. So the two of the major factors that contribute to bitterness IBUs in a beer are alpha and beta acids. I know everybody's starting to tweak because it's like, oh my god, chemistry. Yo, this is easy. I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? So alpha acids, they don't actually. My understanding is that they don't contribute to the bitterness of the beer until they're boiled in wort or water. All right. When you boil hops, those alpha acids, you're adding energy to that molecule, and what happens is they change form. And when a molecule changes form, but it has the same empirical formula, we'll get to that in a second. That's called that the result that the molecule that you've created is called a isomer. All right. So we all know water. Sorry, water's not a good example, but let's look at. So basically, this is a gross oversimplification. Let's say you have a molecule that has, um, let's make it even simpler. Let's say that you have a fruit salad, and your fruit salad is all oranges at the bottom of the bowl and all strawberries at the top of the bowl. Right? When you go and you take a spoonful, you're going to get a different flavor from the top than if you drew from the bottom. Now let's say that you have the same fruit, oranges at the bottom, strawberries at the top, and you shake it up and they become evenly mixed. And you take a spoonful and you have a bite and you're going to get the strawberry and the orange flavor. Well, you have the same amount of strawberry and orange in there, but its arrangement has changed, right? It's evenly distributed versus layered. That's what an isomer is. It has the same number of carbons, hydrogens, oxygens, in larger molecules, it probably even has the same number of, it may even have the same number of like esters and, hi Dutchie, esters and aldols, but they've moved throughout the molecule. They're in a different location. And small changes like that have a big impact on the chemical properties of molecules. So isomerized alpha acids, it takes about 60 minutes, I think I read, for them to sort of be boiled and to fully isomerize. That's and that isomerized alpha acid, that is the main contributor to the bitter flavor in your beer. But what about beta acids? So this is where things get a little interesting. So beta acids, like alpha, they dissolve into the solution when you add them to boiling water or whatever. And when a solute goes into a solvent, chemistry happens. It doesn't isomerize, and it passes into the final, the finished product unchanged. So that one won't change shape. If we go back to our fruit salad example, if you've got oranges on the bottom and strawberries on the top, you try to isomerize it, it's going to come out the same, that same layered sort of flavor profile. You're not going to get a whole heck of a lot in the way of change in the structure of the molecules. Now, here's where things get interesting. During storage, and if you're aging a beer, and I believe also in fermentation, it's going to come into contact with oxygen just because it's everywhere, and nobody that I know of is brewing beer in a vacuum, right? When you expose iso-alpha acids to oxygen, the chemistry happens and the iso-alpha acid degrades and you lose bitterness. Oxidation is loss of electrons, reduction is gain of electrons, right? We all know this from chemistry. When beta acid oxidizes, right, it transforms into a really gnarly and unpleasant bitter tasting compound. And all told, with the introduction of oxygen, chemistry starts happening and you lose bitterness. That's part of the reason why you want to drink IPAs as quickly as possible, because all those complicated flavors, the more time they have to come into contact with oxygen, even in a sealed vessel like a can, it's not perfect vacuum. There are still molecules of oxygen in there, and that diametric oxygen is going to do chemistry and it's going to degrade the flavor profile. That's why if you've had a double dry hopped beer after, 6 months, it just tastes off. Like, it's not bad. It just doesn't taste right. You know what I mean? Like, I remember one time I had a heady topper it was properly stored, everything was fine, and it just tasted off to me when I had it like 9 months in. So that's why I always mention when things were canned, because I think it's important. Like, you want to drink IPA fresh. Anyways, so I did get this from a website. There is little research into how this transformation affects the flavor stability of beer. What is understood effectively, and this is not extensively studied, is that at least twice as much alpha as beta acids generally keep their bitterness over time. So if you want a bitter beer, you got to preserve those alpha acids. And my understanding is that the beta acids, when they go into solution, they don't taste very good, and it's difficult to get them out of there. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, and I don't know because I don't have a ton of experience mucking about with beta acids, but I would bet that, like all components of beer, it's something that needs to be balanced, right? But an interesting project might be to figure out how to isolate and remove alpha and beta acids from a beer. I wonder what that would do to obviously we'd be talking about removing components of a bitter flavor, but I wonder if that would, if there's a way to do that, or if some part in the process already removes it, and B, what the exact relationship, how that would affect things, how it would play out. Because, one of the toughest things about chemistry, about brewing, is figuring out, every time you remove something from that system, it's going to change things. There's going to be, your equilibrium's going to shift, everything's going to change. Shout out to all my Orgo and Gen Chem nerds. Time for another sip. Oh boy. Delightful. What can I say? So now we're at about, coming up on just over 52 degrees. I'm never going to learn not to do that. Starting to feel a little good. I still have more to pour. Still smells good. I like to peel the labels off and save them for projects. I also do it to help me remember what beers I like, and honestly, just want a poster with this stuff. Oh, excuse me. Little burpage there. It's totally normal. It's to be expected. It's just something the body does. Ignore it. Oh my. Very pleasant. Very pleasant. Let's talk about hops. We've been talking about hops. Let's talk about hops specifically related to this beer. And then let's tie that into what their alpha acid content is. And I did my homework. So, all right. Double dry hopped Mylar bags. What are we talking here? Well, we're talking 1 We're talking missionary. We're talking no. We're talking Amarillo, which is a proprietary hop, which is 8 to 11% alpha acid. You will talk about what you can substitute for these hop varietals at some point, but for now, I just want to get to that flavor profile. Amarillo, citrusy, flowery, delightful. You blew it. Citra, intense citrusy flavor. Alpha acids there are 11 to 13%. So that's a bitter bit. You never beat a bit bubbly. El Dorado, also proprietary, 14 to 16%. Here's what I was interested to learn about 14 to 16% alpha acids. Here's what I was interested to learn about El Dorado. It's a dual purpose hop with intense tropical, pineapple, and mango notes. I thought it was a little different. But nope, that's tropical, pineapple, mango. I mean, I guess mango and pineapple are tropical, but yeah, that's El Dorado. And that's 14 to 16% alpha acid. Let's talk about the double dry hop nature of this. Now, I'm not sure because they don't say, but if I had to guess, and I don't take this as gospel, I don't want to spew disinformation out there into the ether. Juicy. There is a lupulin component to this. And if you remember what lupulin is from our last chat, lupulin is sort of the concentrated oils and whatnot that live on the hop cone that are basically like hop manufacturers have figured a way to remove that like essential flavor from the hop cone and really concentrate it, condense it into pellets, and then you throw that into your brew and deliciousness happens. It's more complicated than that, but give me a break. So the lupulin component for this is Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic. Now, the Galaxy hop by itself, 13.5 to 15% alpha acid. Okay. The flavor profile. Now, here's what's interesting with Galaxy. It's got this is honestly really exciting to me. I don't know if anybody else is going to dig this, but the Galaxy hop functions one way and imparts certain characteristics when it's used like in the brew processes, like your brewing hop, and it's got another profile when it's a late addition and you are using it to double dry hop. Kind of cool. So the same thing, the same hop will impart different flavors at different stages of the brewing process. And look, understanding that is instrumental in creating something that's this good. Oh, man. That cheese. Okay. So, Galaxy. When it's used as a hop by itself, and that is to say, when you're not using it as a double dry hop, intense, potent, musky, tropical fruit. We're talking passion fruit. We're talking apricot. We're talking key lime. Also with dank, citrusy, with a dank citrus and earthy black currant flavor profile. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what blackcurrant tastes like. I got that from somewhere else. I can taste the citrus. I can taste my palate for Galaxy. I can taste citrus. I can taste passion fruit, and in some batches with some beers, apricot. Key lime for me is a bit of a stretch, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, it's there. I guess they say it is. I am not picking that one up super strongly though. Maybe I don't fully understand the key lime flavor. I don't know. I'm just a boy. Now, when you use it as a late addition or you double dry hop it, you're using it as a double dry hop. It contributes a pungent flavor of passion fruit and citrus. So it's a musky, intense, and potent passion fruit when you are not using it as a double dry hop. That is to say, with like your wort and stuff like that. And when you use it as a late addition, pungent flavor, passion fruit, citrus. That's pretty cool. I mean, I know that those flavor profiles may not be as different as you might think. Like, it's not like you get like a straw nana and then it turns to grape later on, you know? But again, understanding this and being able to apply these flavor profiles, these nuances in hops is what separates a wet beer from an excellent beer. So that's our double dry hopped Mylar bags. We talked about alpha acids, talked about isomers. You know what isomers are now. We talked about beta acids. We talked about Amarillo hops, Citra hops, Eldorado hops. We reviewed lupulin. We talked about Citra, Galaxy, and Mosaic hops. Wait a minute. Did we talk about Mosaic? We didn't talk about Mosaic. How? I feel like, wait, are we sure we didn't talk about Mosaic? Yeah, we didn't talk about Mosaic. Sorry to waste your time, guys. It's amateur night. Let me pull up my Mosaic hop profile. Boy, that's embarrassing, huh? Here we go. All right, Mosaic. Complex and pronounced, strong impressions of citrus oil. I wonder if they mean citrus oil that like it's concentrated citrus, or that like it imparts like it affects the mouthfeel. Balsam pine, blueberry, peach, and tropical fruit. Notable mango character, but also shades of lime and mandarin orange. Holy smokes. So I guess my takeaway from all this is it doesn't matter what hop you use, as long as you could say you taste citrus, and that's fine. And you're going to be right, at least all the time. So I guess that what's interesting to me about that, I'm going to add that to my dictionary. What's interesting to me about that is I don't think there are many other beers like this out on the market, and I drink a good deal of beer. Understanding how subtle and nuanced the differences are in that citrus profile. That seemed like that's got to be what makes all the difference, because it's not like they're using better water. Other halves situated. This one was brewed in Brooklyn at 195 Center Street, and if you look at where 195 Center Street is, they better not be using Gowanus water, because I wouldn't be here for very long. I'd be dead. Herpes and fucking shit. All right, it's starting to hit me. Woo! Really great. You can kind of see it's leaving foam lines as I go down. Not a lot going on in the way of particles in suspension. So I don't know. I definitely wouldn't qualify this as a New England style IPA, but it's definitely not West Coast. I think it's Eastern, American Eastern IPA. Let's look at so here's what the Brewers Association guidelines has to say about the American style Imperial or double India Pale Ale. And I'm reading this, okay? This is not my opinion. This is what it says. Color, straw to medium amber. Let's take a look. Straw to medium amber. I think it's definitely tending more towards the medium amber IRL, but on your screen, I think it's definitely lighter. Clarity. Chill haze is acceptable at low temperatures. Haze is created by dry hopping. Haze created by dry hopping is allowable at any temperature. Well, this is double dry hopped, so let's get down with the haze. Okay's. Perceived malt, aroma, and flavor. Actually, before I continue, I just want to mention, these are guidelines. These aren't hard and fast rules, right? So if it doesn't satisfy one of these requirements, it doesn't mean it's not that style. It means it just is a riff on that style. But it's, for all intents and purposes, they're more like guidelines than rules. All right, let's see. Perceived malt, aroma, and flavor. Low to medium pale malt character is typical. Low pale caramel malt character may be present. I have to say, there's not a lot of malt in this thing. The sweetness is from the citrus, is from the fruit, and you don't want to overwhelm that with like a malty, nutty, whatever type of flavor. Perceived hop, aroma, and flavor. High to intense. Check. Exhibiting a wide range of attributes, including floral, piney, citrus, fruity, berry, tropical, stone fruit, and other. Sulfur. Weird. Is that a beta acid? Diesel-like. Sour D. Onion garlic. Catty. I've never seen that. C-A-T-T-Y. I do not know what that means. Resinous, yes, and many others. Hop character should be fresh and evident and should not be harsh. Yeah, I'll go for it. Yeah, absolutely. Perceived bitterness, very high, but not harsh. I wouldn't say this is very high, and we can't measure IBUs. Because I can't find them. So, agree to not know. Fermentation characteristics. Alcohol content is medium high to high and evident. Here's the thing. Medium high, check. To high, check. I told you, this is 8.5%. This is not a boozy beer to me. As it warms up, the warmth from the alcohol sort of becomes more present, but evident, I guess. I would not call, they're not saying this, but I would not call this boozy. Call it delicious. I mean, boozy doesn't mean gross. It just means like you sort of like it's a like it's got that like alcohol like you know. Additional notes: this style of beer should exhibit the fresh character of hops. Yes, oxidized or aged character should not be present. Bringo. Versions of this style brewed with darker malts, non-traditional ale yeasts, fruits, spices, or other flavorings are categorized as experimental India Pale Ales, which to me feels like a giant fucking catch-all. Original gravity in degrees Plato is 1.070 to 1.100. I could borrow a refractometer from work and I could test that. I think I'll do that next time. The apparent extract final gravity is 1.012 to 1.020. Oh, wow, really? That's a huge decrease. Alcohol by weight is 6 to 8.4%, while we're at 7.6 to 10.6. Okay, by volume. All right. Bitterness. So 7 points. So let me get alcohol by weight is one metric. That's 6% to 8.4%. Alcohol by volume is 7.6% to 10.6%. We are at 8.5%, so we are well within there. Bitterness 65 to 100 IBUs. I cannot whatever. Color SRM 2 to 9. EBC. What is EBC? Next week on Double Dry Hop Brooklyn, we discuss EBC and how specific gravity, original gravity, final gravity affect a beer. Okay. So we've done a lot of science stuff. Let's talk about what we would do food-wise. Well, Mark Dredge, I don't know him. He's not a close personal friend of mine, but I have his book, and it's called Beer and Food, Bringing Together the Finest Food and the Best Craft Beers. All right. This is somewhat old. It was published in 2014, so 100%. Like, I think that's the year other half opened, so I can guarantee you they're not in here. But, oh look, I just turned to it. American IPAs. He would like to say, well, we already established we're an imperial, right? Let me see if he acknowledges that as a... I don't think he does. American IPA might be as close as... Yeah, I don't... Sorry, guys. I don't think there's... Okay. All right, let's try this. You want to avoid... According to Mark Dredge, avoid light salads. Believe me, as a beer drinker, that's not that hard. Double cheeseburger, vegetarian, garlic fries, doesn't eat fried food, grilled cheese, yes please. Boost. What the hell does it... Carrot or chocolate cake? Oh, it boosts the profile. All right. carrot or chocolate cake, strong cheeses, jerk pork. Balances out belly pork, cheese, arancini, and barbecue ribs. It bridges orange cake, roast meat and herbs, fried chicken. There you go. Not sure that I would live and die by that, but that's what that beer book tells me. Oh, Dutchies. Very tired. We went on a long walk today. I was thinking about what I was going to say, and then I did minimal planning. Not sure if that comes through in the video or not. Warming up now. Tell them how it tastes, Steve. Yeah, we're into the 60s. 61. Whoops. It gets less offensive every time. Still looking great. People complained about the autofocus on this camera. Maybe they were right. Maybe they were right. I don't know. I was going to try to do another one as like a separate review after this. I got to eat something. We've been cranking for a little while. Hopefully hopefully they don't need me at work. That would be an awkward conversation. Next time, I'm going to eat some next time in an hour, I'm going to eat some food, probably tacos. And we're going to discuss the flavor wheel. And I'll go over what everything tastes like, what it could taste like. And then we'll explore the beer together. I'm telling you, as I get more this is delicious. Excuse me, but I get worse and worse at this because sweet bear wine. Ugh. It's amazing. A little bit left. All right. Time for a rating. What are we going to rate it? I'm going to rate it as a 5. And I am. I have checked into this beer on several occasions on Untapped. If you don't know, now you know. And realistically speaking, heady topper, focal banger, this, and a few others are legit 5s. What does a 5 mean to me? It means if you've got it, I'm drinking it. Please and thank you. I would go out of my way for this. I've lined up for this. Uncle Martin was there. When it was harder, that was when it was harder to get, but even today, double dry hopped like Mylar bags, you got to be kidding me. I would this is too tasty for everybody. If you want some of this, send me a little message and I will hook you up with a little bit of double dry hopped Mylars with the Amarillo, with the Citra, with the Galaxy, all that stuff. that we talked about today. Anyways, I know it was a little different. I hope you liked it. I'm going to eat some tacos and be back this afternoon so I can review another, so that I can make a lot of money selling merch as the beer man. All right. This is Double Dry Hop Brooklyn. My name is Noah. Thank you for tuning in. And see you this afternoon. Cheers. How are we live?